I love this show.
Friday, 10 o'clock tune in. It's showtime, the EV Café News.
Morning! Oh, yes! Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the News and Views with the coffee-fueled EV Café. 30 minutes of what's happening in zero-emission transport with expert and slightly edgy analysis from the EV Café crew. Now then, we've got wonderful opinions on a stick. We have Pablo. Where are you, my friend?
Well, I'm at my mum's house in Bath, or just outside Bath. But I do get my traditional homecoming cup. I love Bath. There we go.
Oh, you should have a bath, more like.
Well, that's true too.
And we have Sam. He's got a mug in his face, a mug in his mug. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm glad it's Friday.
Cool. It's been a week, eh? It's been a week. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was on to HMRC last night. I can't get my corporation tax lodged. Me. That only took an hour. And we did have the quite wonderful Sarah Sloman, who was resplendent in a gold dress last night at an awards ceremony. But she's cleared off. Maybe she's got to go and polish it. Hopefully she'll be back. Anyway, we've got to thank our wonderful new sponsor, Drax Electric Vehicles. They sponsor this thing, and we are forever in their debt. They are the best place to get advice on starting your fleet electrification journey, or maybe accelerating it big style. Right, grab said cup of coffee and plug yourself in to what's happening in clean transport this week and coming up, and this is going to be a bun fight. It is alleged that public charge points deliver just 37% of the advertised speed. Well, is that right? We'll find out. The UK government missed an early opportunity to give the transition to zero-emission vehicles some welcome support. We'll see what Rachel's got to say for herself. Black cabs are at risk of extinction by 2045. And welcome news this week that the UK aims for a carbon-free shipping sector by 2050. But they're going to have to stop them bursting into flames first and crashing. Anyway, first up, we've got this new thing, the EV Café Commercial Clap, where we highlight innovation and new things in our industry. It's the Commercial Clap.
The Commercial Clap from the EV Café.
Innovation applauded.
Okay, first up, we've got Stuart Signs. Now then, they're our partners and graphics and a branding company. And they've bought Leicestershire-based business Pulse Signs and Graphics for a cheeky little number. Pulse provide a range of services including vehicle racking, van accessories, van lining, electrical installations, vehicle graphics, commercial fleet wraps, large format printing, interior graphics, window graphics and signage. And it was just an opportunity to mention vans, really, so Paul's frothing. It's all exciting stuff. We're going to be seeing Kirsty and Gareth from Stuart Signs at the CV show. Paul, are you excited about the CV show by any chance?
Oh, unbelievably excited. I put a post out this week to say, I love commercial vehicles, and asked everybody if they did too. And it seems like thousands of you do, and that's brilliant. Because the commercial vehicle show is going to be exceptional. We've got 3 big brand new van launches. There's trucks there in the different halls. We've got the big AA Volvo truck going to be there over on one side. It's just super exciting. And what I love the most is that the EV Cafe Village is going to be the decarbonisation theatre. It has got some amazing speakers. I won't try and name them because I'll always offend one by forgetting. But, people from from the biggest companies, van operators in the UK, from some of the most powerful public sector organisations, fabulous, policy makers and, movers and shakers networking on every lunchtime across the 3 days. I am just absolutely mind-blowingly excited about this event, and you must be there. Free tickets. I'll make sure that I pop a link on LinkedIn in just a moment to get your free ticket. Be there or be square, as they used to say back in the 80s.
Told you the coffee was in. He's had bucket loads of it this morning. If you want to find out more about Stuart Signs, go to stuartsigns.co.uk. Right, next up, Sam will get frothing about this one. V2G. Massive things at Stellantis in their Mirafiori plant in Italy. Free-to-move e-solutions are pioneering one of the most ambitious vehicle-to-grid projects in Europe with a planned capacity of 25 megawatts and up to 700 electric vehicles connected. This initiative showcases how EVs can do more than just suck in the energy. They can be part of the grid, reducing peak loads, enable a more sustainable, energy-efficient ecosystem. We'll be watching with eager anticipation. V2G, Sam, it's the way to go. In, out, and shake it all about.
Absolutely is. That picture is phenomenal. That makes my 7 or 8 V2G chargers lined up in my depot 7 or 8 years ago somewhat archaic, but we've all got to start somewhere. And I've got my own little V2G project starting soon in my new house. So in all levels, domestic and in commercial world, it looks like things are moving in that space. And I'm very excited to see more of that because it's just clever. It's just really effective. Really good idea.
Oh, we're part of the big system now. We're part of the ecosystem. Hello, Sarah. Welcome back. Are you well?
Yes, thank you. I'm just on the group chat as well, so keep your comments coming.
Oh, good on you. Right, okay. Now then, what if the zero-emission city already existed? What would it look like? Renault Trucks have created the Good City, an interactive town that reflects the increasing electrification of transport. Now, when you go online, this is a moving feast, and all of these little buttons on here give you access to drop-downs and information about specific sectors that are decarbonising using trucks, vans, e-scooters, you name it, it's on there. It's a fascinating insight into what the future looks like for urban construction, regional distribution, waste collection, craftsmanship, even the local craftsmen get a mention, road maintenance and green spaces, and urban logistics. It's utterly brilliant. If you search Renault, the Good City, you'll lose an hour easily going to find out what the future city of electrification might look like. Super cool. But will it have an impact, or is it just a toy to play with? You tell us. Go have a look. Renault, the Good City. Give it a search up. Let us know what you think. And that, my friends, is the commercial collab. Now then, shall we get on with the news, shall we? Yes, let's.
Yes.
Right, stand by for a bun fight. This might run for 20 minutes and be the only story we cover. Electric vehicle drivers.
Maybe.
Oh yes, electric vehicle drivers who use public charging points are achieving as little as 37% of the maximum charging speed promised, according to research by What Car. The media brand took a variety of cars to 15 EV charging stations operated by 5 different networks across England to find out how the speed to find out how the speed a vehicle can charge varied in the real world. At 8 of the sites, chargers delivered power at less than 2/3 of the stated maximum rate, whilst just 2 achieved the advertised speed. These results could have a critical knock-on effect for fleets as they drop off in a real-world speed compared to the advertised rate, and it could mean that vehicles take longer to charge. With all due respect, What Car, this is not news. This, my friends, is called the charging curve. Sam, on 3, 2, 1, go.
Do you know what? When I saw this morning, John, my first response was I have neither the time nor the crayons to explain this one. However, I thought that was not the best response. I mean, the Fleet News article is interesting. Do try and do a spell check, Fleet News, next time, FYI. But What Car and Claire Evans wrote this, and we did work with her on this. And there's a couple of things that people need to understand. There is undeniably some truth in this article, and it would be remiss if CPOs tried to say anything else, because obviously we are all battling trying to get the right amount of power to be able to distribute power through these chargers. However, there are some nuances in here that are not mentioned. For example, all of their testing was done at 2 o'clock in the morning at 3 degrees. Fastned's charging curves are managed at 30 degrees. So that is a colossal difference in temperature that will have a very significant effect on the charging curves. We also discovered that some of the charging sessions that they tested were actually on 50 kilowatt, not 350 kilowatt, because they got the wrong charger at the wrong part of the car park, which is not going to do the data much good. And one interesting bit of data we pulled from the rugby example was that when they plugged that vehicle into to one of our chargers, it got 150 kilowatts of desired rate, which is its maximum, and then the car dropped it down to 70 almost straight away, and they actually said 60, but the truth was it was 70. So what's annoying about this is firstly the title on Fleet News that says public charge points deliver just 37%. It is as much the car as it is the charge point. So stop kicking us when there are so many other variables at play. Furthermore, if you're going to do a test, don't do it at 2 o'clock in the morning when it's 3 degrees outside, because you're putting in a massive variable which is not reflective of real world. So yes, there is truth in this, and it would be wrong to say that there wasn't. But there are a multitude of variables that have not been mentioned that have a significant effect on that performance. So if you're going to do the article, please do it properly.
There was a rant. We knew it was coming. And Sam, you are so right and almost balanced there, which I love about you. Thank you for that. Paul, you look like you're frothing.
Well, I agree with Sam. There you go, everybody. I said it.
That's
However, I will say this, that there are some charge points that I've pulled up to, and I have never received the full amount of charging, despite having a vehicle that is well capable of blitzing a 150 kilowatt charger and preconditioning and doing all of those kinds of things. And I've pulled up to others that just immediately, I was very impressed with one, and I'll name them, Apple Green, up as I was coming back from Scotland in the Kia EV9, which I preconditioned the battery to arrive at the charger, and straight in at 175 kilowatts, which was the advertised speed. So it is possible. And then it does drop down, but every vehicle is different, and I think that's the critical bit. That none of the vehicles that were cited in the test were really premium. I don't know whether they have preconditioning, so there's a flip side to this. But it is often extremely disappointing when you make a turn to go to a 350 kilowatt charger because of the advertised rate of 350 kilowatts with a vehicle that's perfectly capable of doing it in a charge point speed that you would think, with 800 volt architecture, which improves your chances of getting high speed, and not getting it, and not even getting, actually less than has been talked about there. So it is a tough thing, and I think it is something that we need to focus in on and get better at.
It's about education, Sarah, isn't it? Let's be honest. There are variables here, and it just depends on the type of car you've got, the type of or the amount of supply that's available at a charger, or chargers, because often load balancing kicks in. This is complex, but actually it's really quite simple. Different cars, different chargers, different outcomes.
Indeed, and we have to remember that while science is there and we understand it and we do a good job of communicating it, excellent points from both Sam and John, the consumer doesn't give a monkeys. They don't get it, they don't understand, they've had a bad consumer experience, and they'll drive off and vote with their wheels. Now, looking through the chat, I'd like to shout out Lloyd Allen there, who had a suggestion, why not just say up to, and then it's up to the driver of the vehicle to understand their vehicle. But we've all done it. We've all gone to that 350 kilowatt charger and thought, my Tesla should pull 200 quite easily, and it just doesn't. And I'm sat there going, why am I paying 89p for this? Genuinely, why? And in other places, I'm surprised in the opposite direction, where I've got a really good price. So I think, unfortunately, the consumer is the one who we should be thinking about here. That you can't explain all of this to a new driver. They have to understand it for themselves.
Yeah. Sam.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Sarah. And actually, you just reminded me of another point which I forgot to say. And your Tesla is a good example. The Tesla and many other cars like it start to drop their charging rate at 10%. So you only ever get the maximum beans for a very, very small window. So a lot of the tests that they did was at 30, 40, 50%. But the charging curve's already taken a big dive with a lot of vehicles by that point. So, it is, I think, if all the comments that were made, I think everyone's made really good ones. John, yours is the best in a way. It's education for me. We just got to get the basic fundamental understanding somehow to be able to say all the points that Paul, myself, and Sarah made in some concise way that the general consumer just gets it. And we've also got to be careful of not taking singular examples of the things that we've done once or twice and extrapolating that across the market. I've got the privilege of seeing hundreds of thousands of charging sessions, but none of the rest of us don't. So we have to be careful. We don't just take one example and then extrapolate that as the norm, which is kind of what Car have done here.
I love the ticker. We've got to save that ticker,
amazing.
Paul. Sam agrees with Paul. Paul, go on. Finish off this story.
With me.
Yeah. I think there's another element here. Sam picked up on something. We know it was 70, and the car said it was 60. There is this other disparity, although it's much smaller element to this, but there is a disparity between what is dispensed at the vehicle, at the charge point, and what is received in the vehicle. There is an element of energy lost in that process as well, which is something that I know, Sam, I can see that. Wanting to get in on it, but it's something that is very difficult to explain to a consumer that is paying for something and getting something different, and all of these disparities need clarity.
Yeah, indeed. And just to add one piece of clarity, it is not the difference between 70 and 60 in this example. That it was 70, but they said it was 60, so they just got the facts wrong. But there is a margin of loss, but it's nothing like that level. Just to make it clear,
It's about 10% between 6 and 10%, 94% efficiency.
Let's change
A
the
lot of the
ticker.
charges are raised.
Oh yeah, get rid of that ticker. It lasted for 3 minutes.
depends on the charger pool. We have an entire testing centre that's doing this on the daily.
Some are worse.
Right,
Okay, move on, John, for God's sake. Let's
Back
go.
in your boxes. Right, okay, let's do the shout outs. Good. I knew that story was going to run. Gary Comerford this morning in at 9:03. Bless you, mate. Good to see you at Winchester yesterday at the largest rapid charger hub in the UK. Absolutely superb. Well done, mate. Daryl Sharp, good morning. Where were you? 9:35. That's not like you, mate. Honestly, slept in, must have had a tough week. Leon Gomez, funner it shall be. Your wish, my command. Screamwatch King, James Hobson. Well, mate, how are you? Hope you're getting rid of lots of those tablets into a lovely water for Screamwashes. Michael Barton in sunny Bristol, Economy Trucks. Good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Now then, that's Steve Waltz, isn't it? See, I remembered. Paul O'Brien. Hello, my friend. And Wayne Dunn. Ian Mayhew. Ash Bannister. Old Two Mugs. Leo Pickford. Thank you for your messages this week. Belinda Guy. Where have you been? Looking forward to seeing you at the Net Zero conference that I might be chairing soon. Rob Dustin. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. Thank you for just dropping me a message. Yeah, hope you're doing all right. Paul Shearer Barnfather. He's in Chester. Teresa Swift, our very own Sarah Kennel, 3 weeks in a row. Mark Main. Thank you for your couple of messages this week as well. Michael Barton, good to see you. Lindsay Hetherington, well, from sunny Newcastle. Lovely, lovely. What are you talking about here? Darren and Vona. And Richard Lindop, hello. Do I lose an hour of cheap electric on Sunday morning? Now there's a question. And do you get a refund? Yeah, don't forget, the clocks go forward or back or sideways or something. Anyway, Mark Smith, morning. Mike Stainton, hello. 1 month to the CV show. Don't wind Paul up again. And then he's in the house. It's DEV Chakravati. Lloyd Allen in Bristol. It's sunny-ish. Thank you kindly for that. Ross Morgan. Morning, EV humans. Can't be talking to me. Lulu O'Hagan. Can I just say, top name, Lulu O'Hagan.
Top name. What a cool name.
Just for having a brilliant name, you can have some EV Café sweets if you send me a DM. We will get them dispatched to you. Jim Blair from Arnold Clark doing amazing things with Ken Power. Hello, mate. Got a new motor. Marv Samuels. Hello, my friend. Who else we got? Matthew Ling. He's in Suffolk and I love him. Need to have cheese and coffee and stuff. Sitting there comfortably, you lucky boy. Kevin Dobby. Oh, is it a sock? Oh, you are precious. Oh, no, that's a different Dobby, isn't it? Right, okay. Danita Brewer, hello, good morning. Mark Smith. Have we already done Mark Smith? Can't remember. Loads of Smiths.
We have.
Stuart Humphrey. Oh, can I just give you a big love hug and squeeze as well? Because you've been fabulous this week. Liz Allen. The Good Place. Yes, I was thinking about The Good Place as well as The Good City. Scott Eady, 1007. Must have been important to keep you away, my friend. Who else we got? Ian Mayhew, LinkedIn user. He's here. I think it's him. It's Peter Heath. He's got nice teeth.
It might not be.
It might not be. It might be LinkedIn user, but whatever.
Hang on, I'll find out.
Jennifer Smith from Schneider Electric. Hello, good to see you. Bonjour, ça va? Oh dear, I'm running out of steam now. God dear me, there are so many comments here today.
We're on fire today, John. I think
We
you've done
are
it.
blowing up here today. Right, okay. Thank you all for your comments.
It's
Thank you for
Doogie
your
Blair.
time.
Oh,
We
Doogie
Doogie.
Blair is the LinkedIn user. Yes.
Doogie, lovely to have you here with a proper
Hello,
name
Doogie.
from north of the border. Love you. And Peter Heath, where are you, my friend?
He's brushing his teeth, obviously.
Okay, we got 3 stories, 10 minutes. The UK government missed an early opportunity to give the transition to zero-emission vehicles some welcome support, failing to reference the impending electric vehicle tax hikes or its recent ZEV mandate consultation in this week's spring statement. Responding to the Chancellor's address, the BVRLA have restated the need for bold action to meet bold decarbonisation targets. 2 bolds in one sentence. Oh, I need shooting. Chief Executive Toby Poston said electric vehicle registrations have never been higher, but the fleet and mobility services sector's confidence in a fast, fair and affordable net zero transition is wobbling. Now then, it seems that fleets and businesses are still buying, with record figures in the UK and Europe. Commercial vehicles, Paul, is that where the help is really needed?
Well, yeah, I mean, somebody, I think it was Shane Rees actually posted this morning, should the £950 rapid charge fund, it's £150 billion, but nearly £1 billion pound rapid charge fund be spent on deploying roughly 40 vans to every council in the country? And I thought that was a great suggestion because, I mean, the government here in this decision I'm not going to say give welcome support, because what they're doing is they're doing the opposite. They're putting a blocker in the way for people with this extra tax. £365 per van, which is all the businesses in this country are going to feel the pain from April the 1st. I taxed my van yesterday to miss that, so I get an extra year free. But anyway, and you could do that too with your cars, but £600, over £600 on any vehicle. 70% of all electric vehicles are over £40,000, and they're going to get £600. We say Electric Vehicles UK say £790 saving, most of it gone in a sweep on tax. It's over £600 million worth. £600 million that the government are grabbing. This is not welcome support, this is unwelcome hindrance.
And let's be honest, Sarah, this cost to a business gets passed on to the customer because ultimately delivery prices have to go up.
Yeah, that is what everyone says. And it's almost like we all knew it was coming, though, even back in the day when these policies were set, that it was always coming. So I'm just a bit sad that it's happening, but that just goes to show how long we've been in the game for. But that deficit that you calculated, Paul, and great point, by the way, it has to come from somewhere, and John's right. It is going to be passed on.
Yeah, Sam will be insisting, Paul, that you use a spreadsheet. Don't just come up with these numbers out the top of your head.
No,
I did use a spreadsheet, and I did do the numbers
no, that's even worse.
properly.
I need to check his formulas.
Right, okay, let's move on. Electric black cabs. Now then, according to a new report by the Centre for London, if the number of taxis in London continues to fall at its current rate, there could be no black cabs on London's roads by 2045. The number of taxis licensed by TfL has declined significantly over the last decade. In 2013, there was 23,000 taxis licensed to operate on London's roads. This fell by over a third over the last 10 years. So we've gone from 23,000 down to 14,470. In contrast, the private hire vehicle industry, whose key players include Uber, Bolt and Addison Lee, have grown substantially. The number of private hire drivers licensed by TfL was nearly 60,000. And this is that was in 2009, 2010. By 2023, there are 108,000 private hire drivers. So black cabs, even with the electrification, are just not able to operate. And the government have reduced the benefits available to taxis from 17,500 down to zero. So there's no grant funding. Sarah, you use cabs occasionally. That's a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was about to say that. I actually don't use cabs very often, but whenever I do, I always wait for the ones that are lower emission. And I always ask them the same question, and they love talking about the charges. And do you know what they love the best? Those 50 kilowatt legacy ones. That's their favourite. They're not that bothered about the super high speed ones as much as I thought they would be. But all of this total cost of ownership plus operational cost plus insurance cost plus everything cost. There's a lot of people out there who I've met who have been a cab driver for 30, 40 years. And you're right, they're just not, there's no appetite for it now with these additional issues. One person was virulently against London in general about all of the changes they've made for walking, cycling, and bus priority. And what about the cabs? They can't go through the same gates that they used to be allowed to go through. So it's tough out there for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam, cabs, they're like chauffeur-driven limousines, but for ordinary people. Our final story this morning. Maritime Minister Mike Cain. Now, have a think about that for a second. I told you not to blow the bloody doors off.
Doors off.
So he changed. He's
Really
become
good
Mike.
impression. Okay, well
Yeah,
done.
thank you very much. Yeah, he's revealed a new set of sustainability goals for all vessels operating in UK waters, as well as those docking at UK ports. A new maritime decarbonisation strategy aims to reduce shipping's greenhouse gas emissions by 30% by 2030, 80% by 2040, and eventually reach net zero by 2050. As part of the new strategy, which will see the shipping sector brought under the UK emissions trading scheme at last, operators of larger vehicles will now be subject to larger costs due to their larger greenhouse gas emissions. The strategy also outlines plans to reduce emissions from shipping, as well as increase the overall use of clean fuels and technologies within the sector. This is the bit that got me, including the use of hydrogen, electric, and ammonia vessels. That's new to me. Ammonia. Ooh, dear. Anyway, great to see this move because this is the difficult for transport stuff to do, isn't it? Low hanging fruit, piece of cake. This stuff, Sam, dear, that blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, much like Sarah, I typically don't read the news until it lands now. And as you were reading that article, I was thinking about hydrogen actually, and then you mentioned it right at the very end. You know, is this a good argument for let's stop wasting billions of pounds on a pointless technology on the roads of the world and apply this hydrogen technology somewhere where it can be more controlled and it can be used in a more practical sense? So, you know, maybe all the hydrogen technology and learnings and innovation over the last few years needs to be channeled where it can be best suited, and perhaps maritime is the solution for that.
Scott Eady asked the question, have I got somebody else's teeth in? I went to Cheltenham a couple of weeks ago and I've become a bit horsey. Sarah?
On the whole dock thing, I just want to point out that a lot gets done on the dry side of docks. It's not all about the ships going around the world, but it's so difficult to get the electrical power somewhere like a dock. And I know that from the Bristol Port Authority here, one of the largest ports in the world. And it's also where BCA bring all of the vehicles to. And there's so much that happens there for industrialisation. But they're always hit with the same hard targets. And as you know, getting electrification on site is okay for the dry side elements. And last night's Regen Green Energy Awards, I can safely say hydrogen was not a popular choice, even for shipping.
No. Paul Shearer Barnfather says ammonia ships are scary. Skull and crossbones emoji. Could agree with that. Absolutely. Yeah. Now then, what else we got?
I was going to say.
Go on,
well,
Paul.
I was just going to say that but once again we're going back to a technology that in the late 1800s, early 1900s was the prevalent technology. Electric was the desired way to get about, particularly in the interior shipping, not necessarily the international shipping, of course. But these are the technologies that were. It's such a shame that we've kind of put 100 years of ice into the atmosphere and all of that kind of stuff. But now we've just got to recover the technologies that were out there in the first place, doing a great job.
Absolutely. The sustainability is very often about going back to the things we used to do, glass bottles for milk and all that kind of stuff, so we can recycle them. Let's just pick up on a few comments. Doogie, H2 for big boats and planes makes sense. You're darn right. Amy Carter, I've been saying this for years, Sam. Hydrogen has a place, but the roads are not it. Mark Main, I agree with Sam. Stuart Humphrey, I fully agree with Sam Clark on the hydrogen point.
Fully.
Just the hydrogen point. Direct the technology to where it is best employed. And I guess the way of summarising that is the market will decide. The customers will decide. Buyers will decide. And Teresa Swift, who's a crawler, says 100% Sam. Sam, you're banned from the news next week.
I don't want to ban Sam from the news, but I would like to ban the ass kissing that Sam gets every single week. It's fairly
Hey,
irritating.
listen, they're just agreeing with me. It's not my fault.
Oh, it's the big green-eyed monster come out,
Yeah.
ass kissing from anybody else. Well, anyway, right, let's move on. Right,
So-
if you...
Lulu wants the bonbons, the travel sweets.
I
Where are
bet.
they? So
Everyone
Lulu,
wants
you're going to be getting some of these little babies. Look, just to give you a little taste. There you go.
Yeah, you'll be getting a sealed one, not one that pulls dribble in. If you have any clean
Fingers.
transport, PR or news stories you'd like us to cover, please send them to us at hello@evcafe.org. Until next Friday, it's goodbye from me, and it is goodbye from my good friends. This has been an EV Cafe production. Other sustainability news services are available. But this is just The EV Cafe is truly blessed to be partnered with the AA, Webfleet, Europcar, Iveco, Spiri, Schneider Electric, Dynamon, EV Blocks and AW Energy. We are the EV Cafe, supporting the transition to clean transport with our new sponsor, Drax Electric Vehicles. EV stuff done right. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend wherever it takes you. Until next Friday, bye!
Yes, go. Go for a spin. I love that bit.